Hello everyone, it's Natalie again, and today I'll be coloring this picture of a face with some hair that I drew yesterday. Human faces are one of my favorite things to draw, actually, and I also really like coloring in hair because hair can be really flowy and a lot of fun to color. In this drawing, I'll be using Prismacolor colored pencils for the face, and I'll be using a Craftsmart acrylic paint for the hair. Okay, so now I will begin. Right now I'm just going in with, this is an ink pen by Copic. It looks like the marking has rubbed off, but these are Copic multi-liners, and they're basically just simple ink pens that are good for outlining. I'm going to be using this for the eyes. And I'm also going to be coloring the nostril in with the ink, just because it's something that's really dark. Okay, after that I'm going to begin coloring. Let me just erase some of these pencil marks. Feel free to ask me questions, guys. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, Emily from the comments asks, when did you starting portraits? I've been drawing portraits really since probably 8th or 9th grade. Right now I'm a senior in high school, just to give you some perspective on the time span. Before that, I would just draw like animals and cartoon characters, but ever since I've started drawing portraits, I've enjoyed it a lot. Almost forgot the neck. Oh, Emily meant drawing, not portraits. But drawing, I really started drawing in middle school, I would say. But it was mostly like doodles and just quick sketches back then. But I enjoyed it and I started practicing a lot, which led me to become more skilled at it. Brooke asks, what's your favorite thing to draw? My favorite thing to draw is people. I really like drawing faces and human bodies because they're just really interesting, and sometimes they can be challenging to draw, but they're also the most rewarding in my opinion. Okay, Hope asks, how long does it take you to finish a piece? That answer can range from either, I guess, it really depends on what I'm working on. Something like this, I can finish in probably about an hour or an hour and a half, but if I'm doing a painting, that can take, I will probably work on it for about 2 hours every other day for the span of a month maybe. I've done that before. Some pieces just take way longer than others, especially my paintings, because I always get self-conscious about one little feature on it and I'll paint over it and try to make it better. Autumn asks, why do you like drawing? I've always liked drawing because it's just been fun for me. It's been soothing and it's relaxing to draw, honestly, especially with coloring, because I love blending colors together and watching a face come to life with it. That's always been a lot of fun for me. Ali asks, what made you start drawing? I'm not really sure on the answer for that, but it's probably the fact that I've always enjoyed drawing, so I ran with it. Whenever I was younger, I used to draw a lot of cartoon characters, so it was a way of me being able to express what I liked back then. So, but that's evolved now into, I think, in my opinion, a better creative expression. Sandra asks, what is your inspiration? For this piece in particular, my inspiration, it was just a few pictures of, like, just photographs of faces I really liked. And what I do typically with all my drawings is that I find some photographs of faces that I find to be beautiful or attractive or just something about them that's unique, and I piece together the features that I really like to make my own person, I guess. And I just really like the beauty of people, and that's part of my inspiration for drawing. To answer Chelsea, what do you do with the drawings when you finish them? Most of the time I hang them up on my wall or I put them in my portfolio. I don't really, I do sell my drawings, but it's very rare, but I will sell them if people are willing to purchase them. Someone asks any specific type of pencils you are using. I'm using Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. They're very nice. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michaels, or even on Amazon. Oh, I don't think I answered Caroline's question. What's your favorite thing to draw? My favorite thing to draw, it's people. Leah asks, do you commission work? Yes, I do. If you would like more details on that, please contact me through private message on Instagram. The link to that Instagram account is in the description of this video. I don't really disclose any prices out in the open because of the fact that everything is so varied depending on the size, the medium, and the type of paper, things like that. So if you really are interested, please contact me. Carol asks, when did you start drawing? I started drawing in middle school. Caitlin asks, do you like drawing? I love drawing. It's a lot of fun, and it's just really calming and soothing to do, and it's just, I really like the flow of the pencil or the paintbrush, anything like that. Someone asks, can you do graffiti as well? I have never done graffiti, but it looks like fun. I've never had the chance to use spray paint or anything like that, but it'd be interesting to do, I think. Chloe asks, do you go to art school? I do not. I am currently a senior in high school. I take art classes, but it's just a high school art class. Well, it is an international baccalaureate level art class, but it's not necessarily an instruction-based class. It's mostly a block where I can just work on my projects and get advice from my teacher if I need to. Someone asks, for a beginner, what kind of paint do you suggest? I would suggest starting with just simple acrylic paints. They're really inexpensive and they're a lot of fun to paint with. I should probably do a tutorial at some point on how to paint using those. Honestly, I still use cheap acrylic paints because I've always used them and they're really inexpensive, but over time I've become skilled at using them, so I continue to do that. Sylvia asks, do you also paint animals? Yes, I do. Very rarely though, I mostly paint people, but occasionally I will include an animal with that. Pia Pie asks, what do you say to aspiring artists? I would say just always practice. Get yourself a sketchbook to record your drawings in, and like after you draw something, always reflect upon it and think, like, what is it that you like? What is it that you can improve upon? And how can you go about doing that? Thank you guys for all the lovely comments. I really appreciate them. Waria asks, do you paint caricatures? I can never say that, but no, I do not. I mostly just paint realistic people because it's something I've always favored doing. However, I wouldn't be opposed to doing it because I always like to try new things. Tuba asks, what do you feel is the most difficult thing to draw? I'd say parts of the human body, such as hands or like even faces, or really the human face as a whole, can be really difficult to draw sometimes with each other. However, it's also the most rewarding, despite being the most difficult. Chelsea asks, what color will you make her hair? Rainbow. Right now, the colors I have a violet color and a light turquoise color. I really like these because these are kind of like dreamy colors, and I'll be using those for the hair. Ashley asks, what kind of pencils do you use? I am currently using Prismacolor colored pencils. There are links in the comment section to Amazon where you can purchase them if you'd like. Joanna asks, how many years have you been drawing real life people? Currently I'm a senior in high school, and I've started drawing real life people since probably the end of 8th grade to the beginning of freshman year. So like about 4 years, I guess. Someone asked, did you take any classes or did this come naturally? I'd say, okay, coming naturally, I feel like I wouldn't say necessarily naturally, but after practice, lots of practice and just, I guess, like, drawing over and over again, I've developed drawing skills. But I guess like I do feel, it does feel natural at this point. Whenever I'm drawing, like the movements of my hand and everything and coloring, everything just seems natural to me, but over time it did take a lot of practice. Aylin asks, what is your favorite color? My favorite color is a light turquoise, just like this color right here. This is a really nice color in my opinion. Waria asks, can you draw black and white faces? Yes, I can. If I just use black and white colored pencils or black and white paint, or even just regular graphite pencils even. Caroline asks, can you draw animals? Yes, I can. Yesterday I drew a bee. If you'd like to see that on the Quirky Mama page, you can scroll down and find it, or you can see the finished post on my Instagram. The link to my Instagram is in the description of this video. Carlos asks, how often do you practice to be as good as you are now? For time, I don't know, I've practiced drawing like at least every week. During this past school year, I haven't practiced as much because I've been busy with lots of schoolwork, but typically, on summer days, I'm able to draw for at least an hour a day. I've practiced for years on end now, so my shading skills, it kind of feels natural at this point, but it did take a lot of practice to get to this level. How long does a drawing like this usually take? This one probably, something like similar to this can take either like an hour or an hour and a half maybe, but larger scale paintings, those tend to take much longer. Steph asks, at what age did you start painting? My painting work, I started at the end of my sophomore year in high school. Right now I'm a senior in high school. Well, not really. I mean, I start in the fall, but I've completed my junior year, so therefore I am a senior. However, drawing, I started in middle school. Sarah asks, do you have a method, or do you kind of just shade what you see as you go? I would say I definitely just kind of shade what I see as I go. However, before starting, I have a general idea of where a central light source comes from and what side of the face needs to be darker than the other, or where specific shadows should be. However, I typically start with lightest colors first, and then I begin to shade darker. However, that can always change depending on how the piece is going. Pia Pie says, why do you draw? Do you do it to relax or out of love of art? I would say both, definitely. Definitely out of the love of art and to relax, because drawing is always very relaxing for me. Angel asks, have you ever drawn yourself? Yes, I have. I did that for a art project, I think my freshman year, where I drew a self-portrait of myself. I don't remember what I did with it, but I have drawn myself. Erica says, does your mood affect your art? I would definitely say that my mood affects my process of making art. I may be slower at making art or faster, I guess, if I'm really happy. But like the content of the art itself, I haven't necessarily noticed any drastic effects that my mood has on it. But it'd be interesting to study that. Samantha asks, are you drawing a picture of someone, or is this off the top of your head? Well, what I did was I found a couple of pictures of like just different women, and I pieced together different facial features that I liked. For example, one picture would be a reference for what angle the face is going to be. I'll have one picture reference for the eyes and maybe the nose as well. But the shading right now I'm doing off the top of my head. Waria asks, how do you feel when you draw? I honestly feel great whenever I draw. It's a great time of the day for me to just sit down and think of many different things. I typically keep a journal nearby whenever I draw because I always think of things that I want to record while I'm drawing. However, right now, I'm focusing on answering some of the comments, so I don't really have as many thoughts about art or just life thoughts, I guess. But I feel great whenever I draw. Audrey asks, do you like drawing people more or objects? Definitely people. Oh, Carlos asks, what did you use to draw her eyebrows? I used a Copic multi-liner pen. What would you call it? The label has rubbed off on this pen because it's really old, but they're called Copic multi-liners. You can find them at Hobby Lobby or Amazon. Clara asks, how long does it take you to draw a full painting like you are doing now? This one paintings or drawings like these can usually take an hour or an hour and 30 minutes, varying on how much shading I'm applying to the face or the hair, etc. Tanya asks, have you ever experimented with other art forms, pottery or sculpture? I have briefly in my art class since I have access to resources. However, I haven't enjoyed it as much as I have drawing. Anu asks, what color are you using for the lips? I used a combination of colors. I used pale vermilion, carmine red, and sienna brown. These are, oh, and I almost forgot, what is this? Blush pink. These 4 colors. Oh, Surgeon asks, is it good to sing and draw together? I don't sing, but I can imagine for those who do sing, it would be pretty cool. I do listen to music though. That's always nice to have some kind of audio playing while drawing. Kian asks, did you draw yourself? Not in this picture, but I have drawn myself before for an art project in class. However, I don't remember what I did with that picture. Alright, I'm going to start coloring the hair now, and for this I'm going to be using paint. The colors I'm going to be using are these dreamy light colors, and by reading the comments you guys really like the concept of galaxy hair, so I think I'll go with galaxy hair. I'll start with these nice turquoise and lilac colors, and I also have dark blue and dark purple. Awaria asks, can you make a video how to draw teeth? Oh my goodness, teeth are really difficult to draw in my opinion. I typically stay away from teeth, but I feel like that'd be interesting. First I'd have to practice drawing teeth a bit more first. Okay, so I'm going to start with this turquoise color. Someone asks, are those acrylic colors? Yes, these are Craftsmart acrylic colors. I believe that Craftsmart you can purchase at Michaels. I know Hobby Lobby and Michaels, some of them carry brands of acrylic paint that the other one doesn't. I believe Craftsmart is one of those. Michelle asks, when making art, do you prefer to use colored pencils or paint? What is your favorite? I would say right now that paint is my favorite. I've been doing a lot more painting work than I ever have before. You can see some of my current paintings if you check out my Instagram profile, which the link is in the description. Right now, just the paint is a lot of fun to use, I think. Colored pencils, however, I enjoy using just on regular paper because they're not as messy. I mean, you don't have to wait for them to dry, so whenever I'm at school or on the go, I prefer to use colored pencils. Oh, I see you guys talking about water a lot in the comments. Don't worry, I have a little bucket of water next to me. You just can't see it on camera. add some more paint. Waria asks, what's your Instagram? The link to my Instagram is in the bio. However, if you just want to look up the username, it's Cygann with an extra N. That's spelled Cygann. Nikita asks, what paint do you use? It looks like it blends in very smoothly. How long does it take to dry? This is Craftsmart acrylic paint from Michaels. It dries rather quickly since it's a craft acrylic paint. To prevent it from drying so quickly, you can use lots of water. That's what I do on some of my large scale paintings. However, on this, I'm not using that much water because of the fact that it will cause the paper to warp, and I don't really like it when that happens. Should have brought a bigger paintbrush with me, but this one's fine. I actually really like this paintbrush. I forgot what brand it is. It is Royal and Langnickel. I don't know, it was a really nice paintbrush. I got on sale at Michaels, I believe. Michaels and Hobby Lobby, those are my go-to art stores, if any of you were wondering. Okay, Anu asks for tips on beginning drawing portraits. I would say don't worry if it doesn't look exactly like what you're attempting to draw, because in my opinion, some of the best pieces of art, they don't necessarily look completely realistic. I would say that keep your own artistic little flair inside of your paintings. For example, if you want to exaggerate shading, then do that. If you want to exaggerate like a certain color, do that too. Also, if you want to paint a picture with the abnormal colors, such as like green faces, and shade it with like blues and purples and things like that, then definitely do that. Just do something that you're very comfortable with working with, or you're comfortable working with, because of the fact that it will make it a lot easier for you. Michaela asks, are you a ginger? No, I am not, but I do indeed have a lot of freckles. My arms are probably the most densely freckled place on my body. My face, it does have some freckles, but they've faded over time. Heather asks, what kind of paper / canvas are you working on? I'm working on toned gray paper. I bought this paper in the form of a sketchbook because it's nice and portable. I forgot the brand in particular because I lost the cover page to it, but I think it, you know, I actually don't remember. I'll have to do a follow-up for that. But I really like toned gray paper because it makes color just pop so much more, in my opinion, compared to like just regular white paper. Lauren asks, are those acrylic paints? Yes, these are Craftsmart acrylic paints from Michaels. They are about, I believe, like 90 cents each. They're really inexpensive. Becca asks, what's your favorite color? I'd say that a nice turquoise color like this is my favorite. I love this color a lot. I think it's very refreshing and pleasing to look at. Okay, now I'm going to add some darker blue. I don't want to get my hand wet from touching the paint. Pauline asks, what age did you start painting? I started painting my sophomore year of high school. I am currently a high school senior, so about like a year. Because I'm just now a senior and I started painting at the end of my sophomore year. If you want to see more of my paintings, please check out my Instagram. The link is in the description of this video. Helen asks, who is this a portrait of? It is not a portrait of anyone in particular. It's actually like the features on the face. So these are just a combination of different not drawings, but pictures of eyes and faces that I've liked. So I kind of just pull features that I like and put them into one person. So this is a new person. She's not real. But in the painting she is. Sahiti asks, can you make a video tutorial on how to draw a face step by step? I've been considering doing that for a while now, and I really think I should. So I will probably do that at some point in the near future. Valencia asks, who influenced you to start painting portraits? I say my influence for painting portraits is probably other artists out in the world that I've looked at on Instagram or either in museums. I just really like the concept of drawing the human face and human body. So it's something that I've set a goal for myself to be able to do, and over time I've practiced doing it, and I'm really pleased with the results. Pauline asks, do you take art classes? I take art classes at my school, but they're mostly, they're not instruction-based art classes. They're mostly just blocks that I have time to work on pieces and use the art supplies in the room and then get advice from my teacher if I need it. The classes I'm taking, they're IB art classes, which is short for International Baccalaureate, which is this international education program, which I love. It's amazing. I'm a part of it. The class, they score you on the quality of your work and a sketchbook that you submit at the end of your senior year. Marine says, still curious about how the face was done. I sketched it ahead of time with just regular pencil. I used different photographs of faces as a reference. From the photographs, I just took different features that I liked and kind of just like blended them together into one face. Courtney says, are you going to sell your paintings? Yes, I am interested in selling my paintings. If you're interested in purchasing any of them, please send me a direct message on Instagram. Don't just comment on one of my pictures because it's likely that I won't see it due to many notifications, and especially if it's an older picture, do not comment about commissions on those, but definitely send me a direct message and I will respond to you. Layla asks, why is it blue hair? I chose this color because it's my favorite color, and it can create a little bit of a galaxy effect, which I can see a lot of you in the comments are demanding. But over time, as I make part of the hair darker and add stars, it will look more galaxy-like. I don't think I'll be able to finish this in the duration of the video today, but I will definitely post the finished product to my Instagram. So make sure you follow me there. Simone asks, what is your Instagram? The link to my Instagram is in the description of this video. Pauline says, can you post it on Facebook? I don't have an Instagram. You can still view Instagram by looking at the web browser. Just Google my Instagram name and with Instagram in the same Google search. So search Saigen Instagram, and the first link will be my page, of course, and you can look at it there. That was weird. An ant just fell onto my hand. If you saw that thing get flicked off my hand, it was an ant. Beth says, what's your Instagram? My Instagram has been posted in the comments or in the description of the video if you want to see it. Oh, Anu asks what brush are you using and where did I get it? I'm using a Royal and Langnickel, I don't know if I'm saying that right, brush. I got it at Michael's. They have a smaller brush selection than Hobby Lobby, but if you're looking for a brush similar to this, just look for the ones with the metallic silver body to them. I got this at Michael's. Sahidi asks, what art do you most identify with? I'm assuming you mean like art styles. I'm not really sure on that. I've never really thought of myself to fit in with any art style in particular. I mean, I might, but it's nothing that I really considered. Pauline says, are you copying someone's face or are you just using imagination? I'm using a combination of the two. I did use a couple of photographs for reference for the eyes and for the positioning of the face, but other than that, like the shading and colors, I used my imagination for that. Jacob asks, what kind of paper are you using? I am using toned gray paper. I bought this kind in a sketchbook. I forgot the name of it, but next time I do a toned gray video, I will give you an update on that. Okay, it's almost noon and I'm out of time for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all the lovely comments that you left for me. I will read every one of them later. Okay, the final picture will be on my Instagram later once I finish it, so make sure you check that out. Again, my Instagram link is in the description of this video. Bye guys! Hello everyone, it's Natalie again, and today I'll be